everybody. You guys honestly have no idea how much strength it takes for me to make this video, because ironically this is the second time I am making this video. You heard me right, I did this video a couple days ago and lost all of the files, and I had finished editing it. It was literally a couple of clicks away from being published and
it all deleted, so...
Not gonna lie, I had a bit of a crash out about it. I was away from my channel like a week and a half because I was in a very dark place mentally, and I finally gathered myself to go make the video, and I had such a fun time, and then all my work went down the drain and I felt very discouraged. But all that aside, I still want to put this video out because many of you took your time to tell me your favorite horror movies. And yeah, I hadn't told what this video is about. So I am gonna be reading your guys' favorite horror movies, and in case I have seen them myself, I'm gonna rate them by overall rating and scariness. 2 disclaimers, one being that I'm gonna be showing the front covers of these horror movies, so if scary pictures like that scare you, I suggest you do not watch this video. When I was a little girl, many pictures was all it took for me to be absolutely terrified, so please know yourself. And if I would have to put like an age limit, I would highly suggest if you are under the age of 12, you do not watch this video. Second announcement, don't worry, we are almost there. Is that this video does include something that triggers a lot of people, and that is personal opinions. So if your whole entire week is gonna be ruined by me telling what I personally thought about a movie, don't watch this. Art is supposed to make people feel things, and art makes different people feel different things. So me and you can disagree about movie being good or scary, and we will still be okay. Whew, after all that being said, let's jump right into it and go train my adorable little pony spotlight. My field of view is bothering me. Is it even an Elena song video if I don't fix my field of view? The first submission goes like this. My favorite horror movie is probably The Girl from the Other Side or Over the Garden Wall. I don't do well with horror movies, but these give those spooky vibes that Halloween needs. I have not seen neither of these movies. By what I can tell, they are both animated. They both look absolutely adorable. I don't know if I managed to find the right ones, but the other one seems to be a series and the other one seems to be like a short movie about 10 minutes long. I'm gonna read like a summary of these movies, but I'm gonna of course avoid all spoilers, so don't even worry. I'm gonna start off with the first one you said, and that was The Girl from the Other Side. Once upon a time, in a far, far away place were 2 lands. The world was divided into an inner land and an outer land. People feared the outer land, inhabited by eerie beings, the carriers of curse. One day, on the border of the inner land, inhabited by humans, one such being finds a girl on the heaps of abandoned dead bodies. The girl says her name is Shiva and shows affection to the being who found her, calling him teacher. This is a story of 2 people, one human, one inhuman, who linger in the hazy twilight that separates night from the day. Honestly, these covers are all it took for me to absolutely fall in love, even though this is quite short. I kinda prefer longer movies, but you know, it is not about how long it is, it's all about the quality of the movie. I'm not even reading anything right now and I'm still butchering this race. Yeah, I would probably like this movie, but I of course can't tell my personal opinion since I have not seen this. The other movie you submitted is actually a series called Over the Garden Wall. It's also an animation, and this one looks less like a horror series. It's not necessarily a bad thing. I love that we have inclusivity for people who don't like horror. The summary of Over the Garden Wall goes like this. On an adventure, brothers Wirt and Greg get lost in the unknown, a strange forest adrift in time. As they attempt to find a way out of the unknown, they cross paths with a mysterious old woodsman and a bluebird named Beatrice. I love that you submitted animated series and movies, because I don't know, there was a certain type of horror movies that I was expecting when I asked for these submissions, and these were definitely out of my expectations, but that's a good thing. Many of these submissions said that they don't know if it counts as horror, but you know, if it gives you some spooky fall vibes or scares you, it's horror enough, don't even worry. Next submission says, I love the Blair Witch Project. I know it's not that scary, but I love the way it's made, like where it's them filming the whole thing. Love your content, XX Olive. Aw, thank you so much, that's so sweet. But Olive, what do you mean it's not that scary? Blair Witch movie is a horror movie I have seen myself, and I personally find it so scary. So Olive, you must be a tough one to scare. Blair Witch movie it's different from many of the mainstream horror movies because it's filmed like in first person mode, and it's very blurry and like gives the effect of you being in the woods yourself. The camera quality is quite bad from time to time, and that actually makes it more scary because you can't always tell what's in front of you. Blair Witch movie is about this friend group that goes into these woods that are said to have like a curse on them, and they are searching for one of their friends. Personally, I like Blair Witch movie a lot. I like the older one and the newer one. I would rate overall rating for Blair Witch Project a 9 out of 10 and scariness a 10 out of 10, even though Olive seems to be a little too brave for this movie. Next one says, my favorite would either be Scream or Jurassic Park Rebirth. I know you wouldn't call it a horror movie, but it's a bit more violent than the other ones. I'm gonna start off with Scream. So Scream is an OG horror movie. It's like a movie series. There is a lot of movies. The killer in those movies is like a ghost face named person. The person is a different person each movie, and I'm not gonna say anything more about that in case I don't spoil. But yeah, it usually targets like a friend group in like a high school, and Scream is just a very nostalgic OG horror movie series that I was waiting to see here. I personally don't find Scream that scary. It's more like kind of like one of those, I don't really know how to describe it, but it really depends on what you are scared of. What I rate scary might be totally different for you, because some people only get scared by psychological horror and others just really don't like blood. So it all depends, but I would rate Scream overall a 9 out of 10 because it does hold like such a good teenage memories for me, and scariness I would maybe give it like a 6 out of 10. Then you said Jurassic Park Rebirth, and yes, that is the newest one of the Jurassic Park movies. I actually went to the theaters to see that one. Jurassic Park Rebirth is a bit more violent than the other ones, and I totally understand why it might be scary for some people, especially if you're younger. If you don't know what Jurassic Parks are, it's like this movie series about this island where scientists like reincarnated dinosaurs, and in every single movie those scientists go there, get lost, and then a bunch of dinosaurs eat them. That is like Jurassic Park in a nutshell. The one this person is talking about, the Rebirth one, they like discover this abandoned scientist laboratory, and there is this abandoned big mutated dinosaur. My personal opinion about Jurassic Parks are that I don't like the human-made mutated dinosaurs. I only like the ones that have actually existed. I think that gives like them the nice kind of realistic aspect that I can also learn from. I am not a big fan of the ones that the scientists made to look scary, which is like the main dinosaur in the newest movie. I think it's called the D-Rex, not a T-Rex, it's a D-Rex. It was a failed project or something, but I would rate Jurassic Park Rebirth a 7 out of 10. It would have been much better if the spotlight would have been on a dinosaur that actually existed. Just my opinion though. And scariness, I really can see why people could be scared of this, especially younger people, and it is quite violent, but for me it was like maybe a 3 out of 10. Next person gave us a list. All-time favorite, OL, you got down a rabbit hole. So the best of them are The Ritual, The Conjuring, The Exorcist Believer, and Bambi the Reckoning. I have seen 3 of these. I have not seen Bambi the Reckoning, but everything else I have seen. Let's start with The Ritual. The one I have seen is like this friend group that goes into Swedish wilderness, and the classic, they camp in the woods and then they found out that they are not alone. I liked that movie a lot because if you don't know, I live near Sweden. I don't live in Sweden, but very, very close. And the nature where I live is very similar to Swedish nature. So that movie kind of like gave me the creeps in a different way because, you know, there is a forest very similar to the one in that movie right outside my window. Many horror movies are based in America or just in nature where it isn't like in my country, you know? I would give The Ritual maybe a 7 out of 10, and scariness, it was surprisingly scary. Maybe a 7 out of 10 on that too. Next one you said is The Conjuring, and The Conjuring has come up here a lot. Conjuring really is an OG and a good one. It is popular for a reason. Some people don't like popular horror movies because, you know, they want to be different, but I'm gonna just tell you that Conjuring is popular for a reason. I have only seen the first 2. I'm kinda iffy about watching the 3rd and the 4th one because even though I have only seen 2 of them, I still saw a significant difference between the 1st and the 2nd one. The first one was pure gold. I absolutely loved it, but the 2nd one, I think they already kind of dropped the ball there. You know, when a movie does very well, they want to make a part 2 of it, you know, to get all the benefits out. But more often than not, the plot line kind of gets ruined. So I'm gonna rate Conjuring 1, and that's a 10 out of 10, and 9 out of 10 for scariness, because it is actually quite scary. Then you said Exorcist the Believer. This is a newer movie, part of the Exorcist movie series. I really can't tell you how many are there, not a lot, maybe 3 or something like that. Someone fact check me. But this movie I saw when I was like half asleep, so the plot kind of went over my head. The summary of The Exorcist the Believer goes like this. When his daughter Angela and her friend Catherine show signs of demonic possession, it unleashes a chain of events that forces a single father, Victor Fielding, to confront the narrative of evil. Terrified and desperate, he seeks out Chris McNeil, the only person alive who's witnessed anything like it before. I'm just running in a circle right now. So I don't feel qualified to rate this movie, even though I technically have seen it, so I'm not gonna do that, but I'm just gonna say that the previous Exorcist movies I have liked, so there is a high possibility that this would be a good movie in my opinion as well. The last one you said is Bambi the Reckoning, and I actually do know this movie, but I have had my reasons why I haven't watched it. Bambi the Reckoning is kind of like a horror movie version of the children's tale Bambi, and the reason why I haven't watched it yet is because I watched the Winnie and the Pooh Blood and Honey movie and absolutely hated it. I think it was pure garbage. I am so sorry for everyone who liked it, more power to you. But me personally, I found that movie to be absolute dog poop, and I am just so scared that the Bambi version is gonna be exactly the same. My sister watched Bambi the Reckoning and found it pretty bad, so I haven't like felt encouraged to watch it myself.
These flowers are cute, I want them.
But you said it's one of your favorite and you put it in a list of very good horror movies, so maybe I definitely should check that out and build my own opinion. But yeah, that is mainly why I have not seen it yet. Next submission goes, all Harry Potter movies. They're not really horror movies, but they are scary. Love your videos. Sorry if my English is bad. Thank you so much for loving my videos, and don't worry, your English is fantastic. Harry Potter movies are like the all ultimate fall-time movies. They bring such comfort to me. If you don't know what Harry Potter is, first of all, you are missing out. Go watch them right now. Second of all, it's about this boy who gets an invitation to go learn in a wizard school, and you know, a bunch of stuff goes down. It's a movie series. Harry Potter is so valid, and don't worry, I totally understand why it can be scary to you, even though personally I don't find it scary anymore. I remember when I read the second book, The Secret of Chambers. I remember it in my native language, so forgive me if I said the wrong name in English. But yeah, I read that book when I was kind of little, and I was very scared of it. I found the snake thing. Once again, I remember the name of it in my language, but not in English. But anyways, I found it so scary. So I respect you, and I give Harry Potter 10 out of 10 because it's such a nostalgic movie. I own some wands, and I was a very diehard Luna Lovegood fan. Comment your house below. I want to see what kind of houses you guys are. Also, if you wanna, tell me what do you think I am. I can tell you though. I am between a Ravenclaw and a Hufflepuff. Nowadays, I probably would be a Hufflepuff, but it's kind of 50-50 when I take a test. It's every other time it's Ravenclaw and the other ones are Hufflepuff. Next submission says, I'm not so much of a very scary horror movie person, so I enjoyed The Nightmare Before Christmas because it wasn't so scary. Now, this is so valid. I am absolutely obsessed with all Tim Burton movies, those animated ones especially. Nightmare Before Christmas is one of the best ones. It's right after Corpse Bride in my opinion. If you are searching for a chill Halloween themed movie that doesn't take your night's sleep away, definitely check out Nightmare Before Christmas. It also has the most adorable dog. I have a picture of the dog in my wall because I'm just obsessed with it. Nightmare Before Christmas is an absolute 10 out of 10. Scariness, I will say 0 out of 10, but that's probably a good thing for some people. You know, fall themed movies doesn't need to be scary. I love that we have movies that everyone can enjoy, even the people who don't like scary stuff. It's totally okay. Next submission says, I know this is really simple, but the original Scream is everything. All the Screams in my opinion are the best. I went through that. Don't even try. Oh god. I already kind of talked about Screams, but I do agree with you. First one, on my opinion, is the best one.
I'm losing my mind over this race.
I think I already rated Scream, so I'm not gonna do that again. You know, it might be simple, but it's also very valid because Scream is such a good movie. I wonder if the reason why I couldn't go through them was that I don't jump, because some people kind of trick this race that they just run through it and that's how they get the fastest time. So maybe Star Staple did a little trick there, I don't know. Next submission is once again Conjuring. It says, my favorite horror movies are the Conjuring movies. P.S. I love your videos and how real you are. Keep being yourself. You know, these kind of comments are what makes just everything so worth it. I love you for saying this. Thank you so much. All I ever want to be is just myself. Oh god, I don't want to get into too deep, but you know, I spent so much of my teenage years pretending to be someone I'm not, that being accepted and loved by just being yourself it's a wonderful feeling, and thank you so much. And yes, Conjuring movies, they are absolutely awesome. Next submission says, to be honest, I don't think it's horror, but I love Don't Breathe, love your channel and what you do. Oh my gosh, you guys are making me blush. Thank you so much. I have seen Don't Breathe. It's about this friend group that breaks into this blind man's house, but yeah, let's just say the blind man can still defend himself in weird ways. This movie was kind of fun. It has been 5 years since I watched it. Actually, if I remember correctly, Don't Breathe 2 just came out recently, maybe a year ago. The end was a bit weird. If I remember correctly, it had some
basement stuff going on.
Other than that, the movie was fine and it was actually quite scary. So if I have to rate it, I would give a 7 out of 10 for the whole movie, and then I would probably give an 8 out of 10 of scariness. Next submission says, not sure if it counts, but Jurassic Park 1993 horrified me as a kid. You're not alone on this. That movie is like a generational trauma. Maybe that was over exaggeration, but I totally agree with you. I already kind of talked about what Jurassic Park is about, so for some movies, the older they are, the creepier they are. I think that goes for Jurassic Park as well. The first one, I actually like it a bit more than the Rebirth one, so I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. And scariness, well, if you were to ask me right now, it's probably 0 or 1 out of 10, but if you ask a child me, I would have given you a 10 out of 10, so make of that what you will. Next one says, this might be a basic one, but Hereditary, ugh, don't even tell me how badly I butchered that name. I tried my best. This is a movie I see on Netflix, at least saw on Netflix all the time, but I have not seen it, and I know that is criminal. I'm so sorry. The summary of that movie goes like this. After her mother passes away, Annie and the rest of the family are grief-stricken. Soon, strange things start occurring and the horrifying truth about Annie's ancestry begins to come to light. This movie is really like one of the movies that I feel like I should have seen but never got around to it. I think it was because I usually watched horror movies with my best friend and she had seen this movie like with her family, and we always wanted to watch a movie neither of us had seen, so we always just skipped past this. But if I'm being honest, this movie does look like a movie that would scare me. I see their little trailer playing above the summary thing. I can see myself being scared of this. Next person says, Smile or The Grudge or the Rings franchise. Thank you so much for bringing up Smile and The Rings, because I wanted to desperately talk about them, but I'm gonna go in order. Smile is a 2-part movie. It's about this curse where you like see a random creature or like a person you know just watching you, smiling creepily and coming towards you, and nobody else can see that, and at the end it makes you kill yourself, and when you kill yourself, the person who is watching you kill yourself gets the curse. For Smile, the same thing happened that most of the movies get, which being the first one was so good in my opinion, but the second one wasn't nearly as good. I'm gonna tell you a little short story that is kind of related to Smile. So when I was a kid, I was scared of literally everything. I was the most scared child you could have ever met, so it's kind of weird that I grew up to love horror movies. I have this theory that I was so scared of everything as a child that nowadays nothing really scares me. That's a lie, many things scares me, but one of the movies that traumatized me as a kid was Coraline, the Other Dimension, and I just hated that movie and it stole my night's sleep for like many months, and that like traumatized me, you know. It wasn't like, ooh, I'm scared to go to the bathroom. It was like, I swear I am gonna die any minute now. So in that movie, at the end of the movie, the other mother turns into like this weird creepy thing, you know. She stretches out and it's kind of like a spider, and that was the form that like sealed my traumatization. And I think the bloody creature at the end of Smile, you know what I'm talking about if you have seen Smile, I think it kind of gives the same vibe as Other Mother. And now I know this is like a weird thing because they don't really look similar, it's more like the vibe. So Smile I will rate 9 out of 10, movie 10 out of 10 scariness, because Smile actually scared me a lot. I hate movies that have like these curses where you are the only one who sees it and other people don't believe you, because ever since I was a kid I was so scared of something like that happening to me and no one would believe me. Like I would go up to my mother and be like, I swear this dude is like following me everywhere, and my mother doesn't believe me. Anyways, moving on. Then you said The Grudge. I think there is 2 Grudge movies if I am not mistaken. I actually liked The Grudge even though it has been quite a while since I have seen it, and I'm not even sure if I have seen the second part. I might have only seen their first part. I'm gonna read the summary because I don't quite remember. Karen Davis moves to Tokyo where she encounters a supernatural spirit that possesses its victims. After a series of horrifying and mysterious deaths, Karen makes a vow to stop any further deaths. Grudge was pretty scary in my opinion. I would probably give it a 9 out of 10, and I actually, if I remember correctly, I did like the movie. So the movie would probably be maybe an 8 out of 10. I don't mind that I skipped a place, but The Ring is super good. Ring is like on the horror movie starter pack. There are 2 movies of The Ring. It is like this video that if you watch the video you get a curse, and this woman who is trying to solve the mystery behind the video, her son watches the video, so you know, now she definitely has to unpack what's going on there. But if you didn't know, Ring the movie is originally from Japan, and the Japanese version of that is called the Ringu. It's literally the same name, it just has a U in the end, and I think the Japanese one is a 10 out of 10. American one is a 9 out of 10 for me. The Rings are super good, but I would highly suggest you watch the Japanese one first, you know, the OGs are almost always better. Scary scale, I would give an 8 out of 10 for both of them. They can be quite disturbing, you know, there is a countdown for your death, so. But yeah, I very much like The Ring. The next submission says, what lies below? I have actually not seen this movie. By this video you probably couldn't tell of how many movies I have seen, because even though you guys are giving pretty normal movies, I'm still I haven't seen this one. Let's read what lies below summary. Liberty, a teenager, returns home from summer camp and is introduced to her mother's fiance John. However, his odd behavior sets off alarm bells in her mind, making her wary of him. This sounds good. I will have to say that the cover looks super familiar. I feel like I have scrolled past this in Netflix multiple times. Then we have a person saying Conjuring 3, and the reason why I picked this out separately was because many people said Conjuring 1 or the first few, but this person thinks that Conjuring 3 is the best. That's actually interesting. It's nice to see that someone gives love to the other ones too. The couple in Conjuring is such a couple goals that I low-key feel like I would love every single movie that they are in. Also, I never told you guys what Conjuring is about. I just kind of assumed that you know. Conjuring is about this couple who, you know, exorcist ghosts and help people who have haunted houses. They deal with demonic things. It's really religious themed movie. Next submission says Incantation. Once again, a movie I have actually not seen. Incantation's summary goes like this. 6 years ago, Lai Ronan is cursed after breaking a religious taboo. Now she must protect her daughter from the consequences of her actions. So once again, we seem to have a religious and demonic spiritual horror movie. These kind of movies need to be done very well in my opinion, because I don't know, it might be because I'm not very religious, so stuff like this doesn't automatically scare me because I don't believe in them in my day-to-day life. So for me, it turns very comedical quickly, so it really needs to be done well. But this movie seems to know what it's doing, so it doesn't have that great of reviews though, so I don't know, but you know, reviews don't tell you everything. I have watched many movies that had top reviews and I found them to be the most boring, stupid thing ever, so don't let the reviews always determine your opinion. I have sometimes very unpopular opinions. The last, but definitely not least submission was actually Saw, and I'm so glad someone said this because I am a diehard Saw fan. If you don't know what Saw is a movie series that includes a lot of movies, and it's about this man. He gets the name Jigsaw from the public. He wants to make people appreciate their lives. He hates people who take their life kind of for granted. So he like makes these traps that you can escape, but the escaping is hard and takes courage. But after you manage to escape, you will appreciate your life more. That's like the core idea. If you do drugs and stuff like that, he thinks you do not appreciate your life, so you get put in a trap and you will have to escape from the trap. If you don't, well, you know, you die. If you do, the goal is that you after that will not take your life for granted anymore. My favorite Saw movie is the second one. They are in this escape house, and the second ones have some pretty nasty traps though. There is this needle pit that many people hate for a good reason. It is very gross, but I don't know, I love the escape house thing. It stands out from the other Saw movies, but what I will say is Saw is by no means a great plot movie. It's more like this gruesome gore, funny traps movie thing. So if you're searching for like a deep lore and plot, you will probably not like Saw, but I will rate Saw a 10 out of 10 just because I do like the series very much. And scariness, I'm personally not scared of Saw, but if you hate blood, you will absolutely be scared of Saw. Saw is very bloody and gross movie series, so I would personally give it like a 2 out of 10, but that is only because I personally don't find blood and organs that disgusting, or well, I do find them disgusting but not like disturbing. That's what I meant. That was all the submissions from you guys. I am so thankful for every single one of you who took their time to tell me their favorite horror movie. This is the most submissions I have ever gotten, and that makes me so glad because these interactive videos, they are like my favorite. At the end of this video, I thought I would tell you some movies that I didn't see mentioned in this video. The first movie I want to say and talk about is Midsommar. Midsommar is a very psychological movie and it includes like cult stuff. It is an 18+ movie and does include some gruesome things, so definitely obey these age limits. They are there for a reason, but Midsommar is something I always suggest to people. The second one is Don't Worry Darling. That movie is very different. You do not see horror movies with a plot like that. The two main actors are Florence Pugh and Harry Styles. Surprising, I know. I don't see many people talk about that movie a lot, and that makes me sad because for me, that is an absolute 10 out of 10 movie. On top of those, I want to just mention some OG horror movies that weren't mentioned in that video. So if you're like looking for starting your journey and you know, you want to find the basics, the basic like OG Halloween serial killer movies or movie series are definitely The Halloween, starring the one and only Michael Myers. Then we have Friday 13 with Jason Voorhees, and then of course Nightmare on the Elm Street with Freddy Krueger. There also is a Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but I personally think that is a bit of not that important as the other ones, but those kind of fall into the funny serial killer category. You know, not that great of a plotline, just if you say you like horror, people expect you to have seen those movies. That's quite it for this video. Thank you so much for sticking around with me, and thank you for letting me take a small week-long break. I really needed it this time of the year. It's very hard for me, but when there's rain, there's flowers, and next week we get an awesome looking new horse breed, and that has motivated me so much. And we also have this cute Trailblazer track, which actually is very Hufflepuff themed, like we talked. But thank you so much, and I love you all. Stay safe and take care of yourself. Bye bye!